City Council are looking at, as the council of course faces huge financial problems. It's trying to balance its books. It's struggling to do so. We know that very soon, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to get full details of where the cuts will come and how much that is going to impact on the library service. It is speculated that 25 libraries across Birmingham could close. Now, the council says that's all just sort of people plucking ideas from the sky at the moment. Nothing's been published. It's all just speculation. But you've got to look at every single service that the council provides when we're seeing what's going to come up, because they've got to save hundreds of millions of pounds. Roger Harmer is the leader of the Liberal Democrats on Birmingham City Council. He represents Acocks Green, where a campaign is already beginning to try and save the library. Hi, Roger. How are you?
Hi, Kath. I'm great. Great to be back on the show.
Oh, lovely to have you. Sorry, you were really loud there, but I've just turned you down a bit, so it's all good now. No, it's not your fault. Tell us about this campaign then. So it's a bit early, isn't it, to be having a Save the Library campaign in Acocks Green, or do you know something that we don't?
No, I mean, the council are right to say that there are no specific proposals for specific libraries, but what we do know is that there will be an awful lot of them shutting, given, as you said in your sort of lead into this, the dire financial situation the council's in, and the need to make dramatic cuts. So we're trying to make sure that our library, people are involved in the campaign as early as possible, so that when the consultation opens, we're able to have our say about what, the importance of keeping our library.
What is the importance of keeping your library in Acocks Green and indeed other places around Birmingham? Because we know it's hugely different. People can borrow books elsewhere. They can do different things. They access computers elsewhere. Even for people on lower incomes, there's different ways now other than libraries of reading.
No, absolutely. But I mean, I think it is quite a misnomer to the idea that libraries are maybe a thing of the past. I mean, just to give you last year's visitor numbers to Acocks Green Library alone was over 110,000. And that gives you a sort of sense of what a vital community hub libraries are, not just in terms of borrowing books, but in terms of access to the internet for people who haven't got computers at home, and for a huge range of community organisations who can use it as a base at the heart of the community to deliver an awful lot of vital services to residents, particularly elderly residents, but also young people as well.
We've got a few gremlins on your line, but we'll press on because you're just dropping out a little bit. We can still understand what you're saying. Don't move, Roger. whatever signal you're on, don't move at the moment. In terms of though priorities, because what we're talking about is priorities. Now, it might be absolutely true that libraries are still valuable and important, but where are they on the scale of what is most valuable and important? Because they may well have dropped down that a little bit when you're looking at a council that is in such a terrible financial state and will have to prioritise.
Yeah, the council absolutely will have to prioritise. But I think retaining a network of community facilities is one of the things is absolutely essential the council does, because libraries, can be bases for organisations that are delivering services to vulnerable young people, to elderly people and so on. So it's not just a library service, but it's also delivering some of the other really important functions that are priorities also for the council. We may be losing some of the a huge amount of the capacity of the council, but retaining a strong element of local community capacity is a key priority.
Yeah, I suppose the scenario I put to you, Roger, is we're looking at 10% council tax, potentially. That's been given the go-ahead by the government. That's 10% for everybody across Birmingham, or some libraries close. I mean, you're looking at the bigger... I know it's not quite that simple, but these are the sort of decisions that get made. You've got to look at the bigger picture for everybody across Birmingham.
Oh, no, absolutely. And, there's no getting away from the fact that the council's in a dire situation as a result of central government cuts, but also, most importantly, huge mismanagement locally by the ruling Labour administration. And that does cause a number of really, really tough decisions. And it does make us look at priorities. And as I say, for us, one of the priorities is retaining a network of community-based facilities, in this case, the libraries, that, once we get past this current financial crisis, it's very important that, you know, we can then start to build back. And if we've lost the libraries, they've been closed and sold off, we don't have the chance to build back. So we want to retain them for the future.
Okay, understood. Just very quickly, 18% pay rise for councillors, been delayed, not scrapped, but delayed. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it was the right thing to do. I mean, I do. You carried a piece with Marion Jenkins saying, you know, we shouldn't interfere with the independent process. And 9 times out of 10, I'd absolutely agree with him. But I think in these circumstances, it would have been absolutely wrong for councillors to have a pay rise until we get past the current financial crisis. And for goodness sake, we really have to be past the financial crisis by April 26. So that's the time frame we set.
Do you think maybe some of the councillors responsible, or some of the senior councillors who were, you know, have been in the cabinet while all this has been happening, shouldn't be getting a pay rise at all? Well, no, they aren't getting a pay rise at the moment. But I think, well, they're not getting it now.
But
you know, they're still going to get one eventually.
Well, eventually, but then, you know, unless councillors receive, you know, a realistic remuneration, you know, you're not going to encourage younger people. We're really short of young councillors because they'll go off into other careers, and that is, you know, potentially damaging to the council in the long term. But I think the point about people who've been responsible for this, one of the other things we discussed yesterday is having a full independent inquiry as soon as possible that can both identify individuals who are potentially to blame, but also putting the structural failings. And that's a really important part of this.
Oh, I've got to leave you there, Roger, just because you're breaking up a little bit. But thank you very much. We got your points. Oh, modern technology. Sometimes I wonder about the internet. Give me a good old-fashioned telephone. Roger Harmer, though, there, leader of the Liberal Democrats on Birmingham City Council, talking about trying to save libraries. There's going to be a lot of